Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chatting Pitch, your favorite movie and movie pitching podcast with me, Leslie, one half
And
of
me.
Chatting Pitch.
Oh, sorry. I interrupted.
And you.
And me, Matthew. It's been 6 seasons and we still can't get our intro right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Hello. Yeah, so this week, we're going to be talking about another movie. But before we continue, let's have a word from our sponsors. Nobody.
Nobody. If you just want silence and no interaction at all, try Nobody. Nobody today. Buy one, get nothing free.
If you sign up now, you'll get 50% off everything.
Yeah. Sign up to our Nobody newsletter. It will come to you 0 times a month.
How many times? How many times did you say? 0?
0 times a month.
Wow, what a bargain.
That's better than our nearest competitor.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Oh no, I broke the reality of the ad.
Wait, let's hear some reviews.
Okay. Here we go.
I'll just make some sort of disguise.
Okay,
I haven't got anything for a disguise.
For our audio listeners out there, Matthew's looking for a disguise.
Okay, now I've got a perfect disguise. I've just taken the jumper that I was wearing.
Wait, if you take your glasses off, people won't recognize you.
Oh yeah, I'll do that because I'm really warm.
There you go. Oh, hang on a second.
I love Nobody. Wow, do you think you want to be as happy as that guy, whoever he was?
What a singing endorsement.
Then try Nobody.
Yeah. And not to be confused with Nobody, the movie with Bob Odenkirk that came out a few years ago, starring Christopher Lloyd, directed by one of the people who produced John Wick movies. Incidentally, they have another movie coming out, Nobody 2. But that's not our sponsor. Our sponsor is... Oh, there's another Nobody. Isn't there?
Is there?
I don't know.
No.
There's a Mr. Nobody somewhere out there.
There must be.
He was from the John Wick universe, wasn't he? The Mr. Nobody. He was the dude who had the dog, right? In John Wick 4?
Right.
The Tracker. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mr. The Tracker. No, you don't need to use the all the time. It's fine. Mr. Tracker is fine. I remember seeing a thing about someone paging... it was like a page for no one, and it was actually a page for someone called Mr. Noon.
What? Spell N-O-O-N-E.
N-O-O-N-E, yeah.
Great. Perfect. Have you ever walked past a building and they were letting it out, but you thought it was a toilet? Because it says to let, but they're missing the I. And there are many times I walked in and was like, please, may I use your facilities?
Yeah.
And they said,
may I?
If you buy it, yeah.
Yeah. Someone's like, well, you can for a price because they think you're trying to let the place.
Yeah.
You're just trying to urinate.
Speaking of to let, we have to let our audience listen to the rest of the podcast. So here's the jingle. I'm getting better at these.
Nice. That was solid. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about a movie that came out this week, and that movie is pretty dangerous. Would you say?
Pretty animalistic, wouldn't you say?
Oh my lord, Jeff Goldblum not included. Yes.
Courtney.
Jai Courtney and sharks. Sharks find a way.
If a shark was next to Jeff Goldblum on an interview sofa, he'd just be like rubbing it. Sandpaper skin, yes.
Sandpaper skin.
Looks smooth but feels rough.
Have you ever felt a shark before?
Have I ever felt a shark before?
Yeah.
Not a real life shark, but I felt like shark skin.
I wish I could have felt a real shark, but needless to say, I'd have the last shark teeth.
Are you telling me that you've you've successfully made sharks extinct. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
You heard it here first, ladies.
You heard it here first. Sponsored by No Sharks.
Sponsored by No Sharks. Have you ever been in a room with a bunch of sharks and thought, hey, I want to be in a place where there aren't any sharks? Try No Sharks. No Sharks today.
No Sharks today. 50% off your No Sharks.
Anyway, what are
sign
we
up
talking
today
about?
with the code.
No Shark.
No Shark.
With the code Chatting Shark.
That's right. That's right. No, what are we talking about? We're talking about no, what's it called? Dangerous Animals.
Dangerous Animals.
Yeah, the new outing by Jai Courtney, and I don't know what other movies have this director directed.
Let's have a little look.
Was it something
Sean Byrne.
Sean Byrne. No, not who am I thinking of? Yeah, Sean Byrne. What has he done? He has done movies like
The Devil's Candy.
Should have done our
The
research.
Loved
before.
Ones.
Oh,
Advantage Satan.
All of which I have not seen.
No.
But
according to IMDb, they're all sort of in between 6 and 7 stars, but I don't know how trustworthy IMDb's rating is. Not when compared to the chatting pitch rating system.
Yeah. A foolproof system.
Yeah.
Of
I don't know about
spelling
you.
our name.
Yeah, we spell our name. Sometimes we spell it wrong, but on purpose.
Yeah. Because if we don't like it as much, we spell it completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is this movie about? Well, I think both of us could talk about this a little bit because it's a pretty simple movie.
Pretty simple. We won't talk about it at the same time. Would you like to talk about it, Leslie? Go on, set it up for us.
Sure. So we have a cold open where two travelers who are made very clear that they are not a couple. And they go into this Shark Tank experience, Tucker's experience. Tucker being the guy played by Jai Courtney. And they want to have a bit of a thrill in their life by joining the sharks in the tank and seeing them up close. But the lady, I think her name was Heather, she was petrified. At first, she was petrified. How's the rest of those lyrics go? And then I went into the Shark Tank and I was
petrified. But then Jai Courtney sang a song.
Yeah.
And then I felt much more confident about going in the Shark Tank.
I'll tell you what. I don't think a single person didn't laugh when Jai Courtney started singing Baby Shark because
I like that.
That moment was like, okay, this is the character that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you know, at first he's very likable, but if anyone
very affable,
very affable, and if you've seen the trailers, you've probably seen too much. I didn't watch the trailers before going in, so I didn't know anything about this movie. And needless to say, he is not what he seems. He is, and I've seen some reviews talk about this, and they kind of give away what happens at the beginning of the movie. Do we want to do that? Do we want to set it up? Maybe because
let's just set it up as Jai Courtney's character is a guy with a boat. He takes people out on the ocean and he puts them in shark cages for the whole shark cage experience. Yeah. It turns out he's a horrific serial killer who's obsessed with sharks. Yeah. Let's just put it that way. I don't even want to say how he gets sharks involved in all this. He is obsessed with sharks. That'll do.
But no, this movie is marketed as like the serial killer movie, but with sharks. What happens when Psycho meets Jaws? Or
what
the other
happens when
shark movies?
Psycho meets Sand Tiger Shark?
That's right.
Who knows?
What
happens when Psycho meets Sidewinder Sharks?
You know what? Jai Courtney's character Tucker, he knows his sharks, doesn't he?
He knows his sharks.
He really does know his sharks. But yeah, that's basically. We also follow another protagonist, Zephyr. She's like a lone traveler. She's got her own van. She goes around town surfing, and meets this lovely, a very handsome man.
He's a real hunky do.
He's a real. He's been in some stuff, hasn't he? I've not actually seen him in anything else, but I remember seeing him. Wasn't he the poster child of some sort of?
Let's have a look.
young adult series of some sort, maybe.
Possibly.
Was he
Known
in
for Heartbreak High? That might have been it.
Heartbreak High? That's the one. I knew I'd seen him somewhere because my partner was watching Heartbreak High, and I remember seeing his face. And
There you go.
I never saw
Dune
anything.
Prophecy.
Oh, he's
TV
in that, is he?
series. And Thor: Love and Thunder, credited as Zeus Pretty Boy.
I don't remember much from that movie. Anyway, moving on. So, Dangerous Animals. What did you think? Because I liked it a lot.
I did like it a lot, and I would definitely say people who haven't seen it, number one, go and watch it quick because I don't think it's going to be around very long. But two, don't go looking into it too much. I knew the premise, and I knew the title of the movie, and I knew that Jai Courtney was in it. That was it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for that because it's not what you might expect. It's not a monster movie. It's not a. A lot of reviews have pointed this out as well that it's not trying to be Jaws.
No, absolutely
the sharks are not the bad guys. Jai Courtney's character is the bad guy. What's his name? Tucker. Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I can go more into why during the spoilers, but what are your views, sir?
I will have to say that I think this might be the best performance I've seen Jai Courtney do in a movie. I've seen him in a few others, like Die Hard 5. I saw him in Battle Angel Alita,
Suicide
I think that's
Squad.
what it is. Like, he was in Suicide Squad. To be fair, he was quite good in Suicide Squad. Despite how terrible that movie was, he played a good, crazy Australian with a boomerang.
Yeah.
But
funny guy.
I've not seen him in anything else that kind of... Oh, no, I saw him in Honest Thief with Liam Neeson. And he was like a little bit... He was a bit of a cookie cutter.
I think he was in a Terminator movie as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Was
Terminator Genesis. Yeah, he played not John Connor, Reese.
Yeah. I think he's been in a lot of stuff that constrains him.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Very kind of, you know how you just need to have that Hollywood archetype of an action hero of some sort. Yeah. He'd been typecasted in that for a long time. But for this movie, he just kind of let loose.
Yeah.
And I think this is where he excels. I think he needs to do more roles like this because, man, does he shine.
Yeah. But also, this whole time, I thought he was a bit of a charisma vacuum after seeing him in, well, maybe not so much Suicide Squad. He was quite amusing in that. He was maybe the one highlight from that.
Yeah.
But all the other films, they didn't really let him do anything apart from, like you say, be a sort of bland archetype of like vaguely muscly white dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it.
the kind of thing that I like. Who's that guy who's in the Jack Reacher series? Who's that dude? The guy who's built like a tank.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
He's like typecasted in that particular role, isn't he?
Yeah. And I just think in this, he, really had a chance to shine.
Yeah.
And like you say, let loose a little bit. There was a little bit of Chris Hemsworth, if you've seen, is it Bad Times at the El Royale? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that, no.
There's a little bit of that. Chris Hemsworth plays a cult leader who's a bit zany.
And he's also Australian in that?
I don't think so, no.
No, okay. Because Chris Hemsworth, he is Australian, isn't he?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is renowned Australian.
Yeah.
He's basically the spokesperson for Australia. Right?
Well, with Jai Courtney a close second after this with all his shark talk. And yeah, he's a guy who likes the sound of his own voice in this. Good old Bruce Tucker.
Yeah.
And yeah, whenever he goes to murder someone, he gives like a little spiel about like, here's what you don't know about sharks. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be as gory as it was. Because it was marketed as a 15. And I know that 15, there's a little bit of a gray area in terms of where do you draw the line. And I think with the BBFC, especially, what is it? Blood can't be on the floor or something? Or there's very specific guidelines of when...
It has to be in zero gravity.
Yeah, if there's blood in space, you're fine. But no, there have been other people who have said that this clearly should have been an 18, but they kind of managed to squeeze it into a 15.
Okay.
to maybe, I guess, get more audiences.
I don't know.
Sure.
I've seen films that are a lot worse, I would say,
Than this
or
one?
not worse, but a lot more gratuitous with their blood and their gore and their such things.
Yeah, there are some moments which are quite squeamish, especially that you know the bit
The
that
thumb
I'm
bit?
talking about, the thumb.
The thumb bit.
Yeah. Heard a
When
really...
Jai Courtney does the thing where he's like, "Hey," it looks like just gave me the
just
heebie-jeebies.
gets under your skin.
It looked like he actually removed his thumb.
Yeah, and that is how charismatic he is.
He's a wizard.
Yeah,
that's how he gets the sharks to come to the boat.
Little known fact: he plays a wizard in this movie.
Yeah, Bruce. Hello there, Bruce Tucker, local wizard.
Yeah. Who else is in this movie? There's not a lot of people.
They should have given Gandalf an Australian accent, shouldn't they?
They could have.
They should have got the guy who played Crocodile Dundee to play him. Forget Ian McKellen.
Isn't Pete Jackson from Australia, or is he New Zealand?
He's New Zealand.
He's New Zealand. Yeah. Well, so is there anything else that we can talk about this movie before going into spoilers? Because I don't really want to spoil it too much.
Yeah, I'd say it's really effective. All the performances know what this sort of movie is. It's definitely like a B movie in terms of not so much production. When people say B movie, sometimes they think like, oh, it's going to be quite like trashy.
Critters 3.
Not very high production. Production, like quality wise, I'd say it's quite good. There are only a couple of bits where I thought, some of this CG is a little ropey. Yeah,
there was a very ropey section towards the end, but I'll get into that in spoilers. But
I think it's when it's people and sharks at the same time.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. But
everything else, it's like a B movie setup. The performances are perfectly calibrated for that.
Let me ask you something.
More of a thriller.
Let me ask you something. Did you get any of this white knuckling? Because there was a moment where I was like, wow, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Especially towards the third act. But then there were so many moments where I was thinking, so close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. This is definitely more of a thrill ride than it is
than horror.
I think it's almost been, from what I've seen, I would guess some people might think it's a horror movie. It's really not, or a monster movie.
But it's a mix, really, isn't it? There are horror elements.
Yeah, but it's definitely more of a thriller. I mean, even the bits where, if it was just a horror, it would only, the highlights would maybe be when he's doing his shark thing. But I think some of the highlights for me, I don't know about you, are when he's got them locked up, and you don't know when he's going to come back in the room. And they're trying to escape, and so it's not a massive spoiler, but Tucker's character, when he kidnaps someone and puts them on his boat, he chains them up in one of the rooms in his boat, and they're trying to get out, and they try different ways, and a bit like you said, there are a few moments where it's like, so close, why couldn't you just? And I was there, like willing for them to escape, or
it's almost
really
kind of like
the.
Sorry, there was some parallels to Saw, I guess, like them trying to figure out how to get out in a way. Because did you ever watch the original Saw movie?
Yeah, but I would say nowhere near as
less
nasty.
of a puzzle.
I found Saw quite nasty in tone, and I didn't take a lot of joy from watching it. I thought this is just.
A lot of people love Saw. I don't think it was that great. I think the first one, it was fine. The latest outing, though, I'm not going to get too much into Saw, but Saw X, the Fast and Furious version.
Is that where they take it to space, like Jason X?
Yeah, no, they don't. But I wish they did. But no, I genuinely do think Saw X was the best in the series. However, going back to Dangerous Animals, man. Yeah, I haven't been that on the edge of my seat for a long time in a movie. And I watched it on my own. I'm not sure if you did as well.
Yeah.
But for me, I booked the tickets a little bit too close to the showing. So the only available seat was front row. So I had to watch it.
Did you have a packed house then?
Packed house, completely booked out. What about you?
Me and two other people.
Two other again, like last week.
Yeah,
With the
but it
Phoenician
was on
scheme.
really late. The earliest showing I could get was about 9:45.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for me, I
Which,
watched it
yeah.
in the late afternoon, so about 4:00,
Yeah.
and completely brammed. I managed to get a seat right at the front, and there was no one next to me. But I was watching it at a screening that had recliners, so I reclined both seats up and put my feet, and I had to lie diagonal because I was so close to the screen
Yeah.
that I didn't want it to be like I was just staring at people's jaws. No pun intended. So
Do you like how he is called Bruce as well?
Who was called Bruce? Oh, what was his first
Jack
name?
Courtney's character.
Tucker.
Bruce,
Was it Bruce Tucker?
Bruce Tucker.
Oh, I didn't
like
catch that.
Called Bruce.
I didn't catch it
After the jaw shark.
Yeah. One thing that I didn't like about the movie, I will have to say, it's not a perfect movie. There was and I don't know if it was because it was a part of my environment because I was sitting so close to the screen, but the sound design, there were many moments where I just felt like, bam. When it transitions to another screen, like you know how they have jump scares in the movie. I felt like the transitions in the movie itself were too jumpy because like there are moments where you just go to a next screen, a next scene, and it's a bit bam, and it just kept making me jump, and I thought, I'm just going to the next scene. I don't know why I need to be scared about that.
It's just someone going out for he's just going for pastries.
Yeah. Exterior. Beach.
Interior kitchen. He's baking pancakes. Bam!
Did you find that? Or like, because where were you sat? Were you sat towards the back?
I didn't find that. I sat fairly in the middle.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was just too close to the speakers.
Maybe,
but there were moments where I thought, like, I kind of wish I had earplugs just to stop this from happening.
Right.
But when the ball started rolling, you know, it's towards the second half of the movie, there was less of that. But I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was too close to the screen. Bam!
Okay. Yeah.
Jai Courtney's face.
I remember that photo you sent me of watching, I think it was some Chris Hemsworth movie. I know you took a photo.
It was In the Heart of the Sea.
What it looked. Yeah. It was just Chris Hemsworth's jaw was just.
The problem with that is because I watched it in IMAX, and that's the worst to be sat in the front. You cannot see anything front row on IMAX. So thankfully, this was a regular screen, and they had recliners. I had my not sponsored Coke Zero and Reese's Pieces. Oh, lovely stuff. But yeah, in terms of rating, I will give it. I think it's a solid chatting pit for me. I think it loses a couple of points because of the sound design and a little bit of the ropey CGI. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it.
You didn't like that the scary movie scared you. I understand.
I didn't like that the scary movie scared me with its transitions.
This scary movie scared me, Leslie Way.
It does not need to. Changing a scene does not need to scare you. That was the most ridiculous part of the movie.
It's dissolving.
This crossfade. No. What about you, mate?
Transitioning through time as well as space.
What did you think? I give it a chatting pit.
I thought it was really solid. Yeah, I would also say this would depending on your sensibilities, this could be a decent date movie.
Yes.
If you want some scares in your date movie, you know, it's a good evening date movie, I'd say.
I definitely wanted to turn this into a date movie, but my other half just said to me, I was like,
but there was no one sat next to you in the chair.
I said, hey, I'm gonna go watch a horror movie. You like horror movies, right? Do you want to come? And you know what she said to me? She said, no, not really. I kind of just want to stay home. It's the weekend. Like, okay. With you?
With you.
Instead,
not even that disgusted, just at first, like, wait, with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
No.
Yeah, and man, I wish I had a hand to hold through those scene transitions because my lord, scared the hell out of me. But yeah,
blueberry pancakes.
Would you give it the similar rating?
Yeah, I would. I think a couple of other things to talk about that I really liked. I liked that this was a movie where sharks played an integral part, but they weren't monsters.
No,
They weren't the villains. I thought they were
they were
treated
creatures.
quite well.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much. I'll try and be as vague as possible. But
Well,
there
we
is
can
a
go into
sequence
spoilers
where,
now, couldn't we? We were at the end of the review.
Yeah, I guess. I think I'd give it the same rating as you, a chatting pit. Yeah.
Hey, unanimous.
There's one thing that stuck out to me where it was. This is fairly early on, so not really a spoiler.
Okay.
One of his victims gets eaten by the sharks.
Yep.
And then it's like slightly later on. So there's a scene transition, Leslie.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Scene transition.
Oh, my Reese's Pieces. Reminds you of that time that guy opened a bag of M&Ms, huh? And down the stairs.
I did it on a bus.
You did it on the bus?
Yeah. I was eating a pack of M&Ms, and we went around a corner, and they went everywhere. But it was one of those where like we went around the corner, and there was loads of people on the bus, so like everyone was like, "Whoa!" Like everyone got thrown about. It wasn't just me being an idiot.
Yeah.
And I just screamed out, "My M&Ms!" And then after everyone like resettled themselves, I just heard this voice from the back of the bus going like, "Okay, apart from the M&Ms, is everyone okay?"
Fantastic. Sorry, you were actually talking about a point in the beginning of the movie. You said that
lost M&Ms.
Somebody got killed.
Yeah. And then you see slightly later on the boat going off into the distance, and then you see like the top of the head bobbing in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's quite an emotive shot.
Yeah.
It's not really on paper. Like the way I've just explained it sounds quite horrible, but you literally just see like the hair, like the top of the head of this person. But then the camera goes underneath the water, and then you just see like
everything else.
Like, yeah. And I thought, oh, okay. They took quite an emotive shot and just made it into this gory mess. But
and it hung on to that shot for a while, didn't it?
It did. Yeah. That's why I thought, oh, they won't go underwater. Oh, this is quite nice, quite emotive. But it is that type of movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
You wish it could have left a little bit more of like to the imagination on that particular shot.
Yeah, well, I just felt surprisingly emotional looking at that. Like, I wasn't like crying or anything. Not like, it's not like I dropped a load of peanut M&Ms. But it was quite an emotive shot. But yes, I will say, big fan of how it handled these misunderstood creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I love that sequence towards the end. I guess we're in spoilers now.
Yes.
Where there's the great white.
Yes, yeah.
And it swims up to her.
But that fin was like, I don't know if that was accurate or not, but it seemed comically large at one point.
I don't know. They're large. Are
they huge?
Though.
Yeah,
they are. They are large.
Either
creatures.
large or maybe that was a small woman. I don't know. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I saw it. I was like, wow, are those fins that big? Maybe they were. They must have done their research.
I thought
Hollywood. They must have done their research, right?
Hollywoodized it.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
I want that 25% bigger. Yeah, and then the great white just like swam away. I thought that's quite accurate of their behavior. They're not just like mindless killing machines.
No, and that's they foreshadowed that at the beginning where they said you have to stay still, otherwise they're gonna come and get you.
Yeah. Don't excite them and don't like. They're very much. I've always thought they are just animals that like you can have fear for them. Like, I wouldn't go in a shark cage myself. I don't know about you.
No, I wouldn't, because you're not supposed to. As a human, you're not supposed to do this.
Yeah. I liken it to, say, a wild animal came into your home and started like messing around with you and like poking you with stuff, or like
right. Yeah, you'd probably try and get rid of it, right?
You might be a bit annoyed, or at the very least interested in what's going on.
Yeah,
but they're creatures that you should respect, and I think you come away from that film not thinking like, "Ooh, shark, scary." You come away thinking, okay, they are actually living creatures. And
you come away thinking, oh, I should stay away from sharks.
Yeah.
And not go into...
I should stop putting my head in their mouths.
Yeah.
But I liked that it wasn't... A lesser film would have been, okay, Tucker's a monster, but so are the sharks, and they're like his minions.
Yeah.
And this film is not that. This film is like, okay, these are living creatures that, they're real. They're animals that have their own brains. They're not mindless. And the only horrible monster in this is Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when the sharks early on came swimming up and then they just swam away. They just didn't fancy it. And it was like, yeah, they're not his instruments of destruction.
Yeah.
Transformers soundtrack. They are just they're living creatures that will do their own thing.
There was a moment at the beginning that made me laugh, and I think I may have been the only one laughing in the cinema. But you know, when they were doing the Baby Shark song, and they were going through the different sharks, like Mommy Shark, and then like Daddy Shark, and as he said Daddy Shark, just crash cuts to Jai Courtney closing the door.
Yeah.
That I don't know, that match cut just it wasn't the match cut, but the juxtaposition of them being really happy, and suddenly he just has a menacing look closing, and then they did another thing. It was like another transition. Yes. That was the only time I was like, okay, that's really effective.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just kept doing that for all this. I can't get over how mad that got me. Yeah.
The only monsters in this movie were Tucker and the scene transitions.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I like the well, I didn't like it, but I liked what they did with his character of taking. Because at first, when he kidnapped Zephyr, the character, he got a knife out, and I was like, oh, he's going to kill her. But he doesn't. He takes a chunk of her hair and turns them into these little hook things, and then they keeps them as a little trinket next to all these tapes.
Yes.
And the one thing that gets him off the boat and back onto land is having his videotape recorder destroyed.
Yeah, I love it. And he just turns into just a complete, like, he just loses it. Doesn't he?
I need my tapes. Yeah. But no, he oh god, and that is also one of the moments where I just kind of thought, like, my lord, Zephyr, the character, like, there were so many close call moments where I just found myself like, I it is obviously intended, but I got so frustrated that they kept like putting it away and reeling us back in again. And like, especially that moment.
What they explain it in the movie there, don't they?
So say that again.
When Tucker has his speech about, like, it doesn't matter how many times the marlin swims away. You just look back in. That's what the film is doing. Yeah. And I really loved that it kept doing that throughout. Like, it didn't do the obvious thing where the first two people went in the shark cage, and I thought, oh, okay, he's gonna open the shark cage, or he's gonna cut off their oxygen, or something. Like, he'll have jury rigged the cage so it just opens. But then it doesn't do that. And throughout the whole thing, the film doesn't do the obvious thing. And like you say, there are so many close calls. There's like the old guy on the other boat.
Yeah.
Partway through, I'm thinking, like, is he in on it? Like, is he?
That's what I thought as well. Yeah, because he was trying to. He was like, "Oh, can I get a finder's fee?" You know, like.
Yeah. And then he comes on the boat and helps Tucker. But why is he helping Tucker? Is it because he knows and he's like?
Well, they're not very close, are they? But I think he thinks he's a friend, but he's not.
Yeah.
And then
I think he is for the most part, but then when he loses his camera, he just becomes this.
Exactly. He just goes completely. He just sees red.
The affable mask just disappears. And
oh, one more thing before we go on to our next segment. The bit where the shark eats Tucker. That CGI was pretty bad.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but the moment where it just goes into really slow frame rate and you see the shark come into frame, bite Tucker, his body just felt very janky and animated.
It is what it is, though.
I would have preferred it if they had done something similar to Deep Blue Sea, you know, when Samuel L. Jackson gets eaten.
What did they do for that?
I don't know. The shark just comes up and
it just cut to like puppets.
Yeah.
You see these two hands like in black gloves, so you can't see them.
And they're doing that Kermit thing.
Yeah, that's what Tucker's doing.
Yeah, so some of the CGI is a little bit ropey, but you know, I kind of forgive it for it. You know, the tone of the movie it's supposed to be B-movie-esque, so you kind of forgive it a little bit. Anyway, I guess that's all. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, just on the whole, a really great movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Good stuff.
Like, if the fact that my only quibble with it is like one shot.
Yeah,
like that's the sign of a really good movie.
Yeah. My quibbles were you know what my quibbles are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got ya.
Wasn't planned at all. So yeah, would you like to pitch your own? I guess.
Yeah, let's pitch.
Do you want to do a shark movie? Do you want to do a thriller? Do you want to
do we do a shark movie or do we like a serial killer movie? I don't know. A serial killer who's obsessed with squirrels.
A serial killer who's obsessed with cereal.
Yes.
They call him the Nesquik Man. The Shreddy. Mr. Shred. His name is Mr. Shreddies. No, his name is Bruce Shreddy.
Bruce Shreddy. Well, it doesn't. He changes his name based on the cereal.
Based on the cereal they eat. Yeah.
So he travels from town to town with boxes of cereal in the back. Like whenever it cuts to the back of his car, he's got like row upon row. You know those tiny cereal boxes, like the travel ones you could get? He's just got loads of those.
Yeah. Though it's just enough to kind of like to cover your hunger pangs, but almost not enough. You almost kind of want to go into the next box,
but
then that might be a bit too much.
Yeah. But that represents, for him, the killing, like it satisfies him for a little bit, but then he just has to kill again. So that's why he uses the small cereal boxes.
I am almost certain, levels. I'm almost certain there is a movie out there called The Serial Killer, and
there probably is, but ours is going to be better.
But we won't call it that. We'll call it something else. It will come to us.
Time. That's more of us. That's more of the tagline, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. So who's going to play? Let's find our leading man, who is like a Jai Courtney type.
Okay, I'll have a think. While I'm thinking of it, though, I definitely think when this movie comes out, we should have early morning screenings where people can bring in their own bowls of cereal. Or you can buy your own mini box.
It'll be like Saturday morning cartoons where you just
Saturday
got
morning cartoons, but with horrific violence. No blood on the floor, though. We want that 15 rating.
Yeah, we might as well just make it a 12 rating.
Should we have a really meta bit where it cuts to him and he's like scrubbing the floor, and he's like, "You don't want any blood on those floors."
And he winks, and then like there's a bunch of like businessmen with a BBFC badge on.
You've got us.
You've got us this time.
Do we want a Jai Courtney type, or do we want a sort of different type?
In an ideal world for you, I reckon that you would love. Well, for me, I would love to be able to have a redemption role for Sam Worthington.
Because so he's the killer.
Because you hate him.
I don't hate him.
You don't like him in his live action
nice
roles.
Guy. I hate his work.
You hate his work. Have you ever seen him in an interview?
No.
He is. He's got manic golden retriever energy. He's just.
Oh, okay.
There was an interview where he did like. I think it was one of those ones where celebrities compare British snacks versus US snacks, and it was him and Zoe Saldana from Avatar, and they were promoting the new Avatar, and he just seemed like a big kid. It was like.
Okay.
They gave him some
Then
sodas.
Why is that energy never on screen?
Right. So I think he has the energy, but he's not landed the role. So maybe he could be this version's Jai Courtney. Give him a serial killer role,
Okay.
And in this instance, an actual serial killer role.
Loose. Yeah.
Let him cut loose. Maybe you don't want him in it, and if you don't, we can change the guy.
No, I'm happy. Let's go with Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
So why does he travel around? He's a traveling cereal salesman. That's his cover.
Give him his native tongue as well. Let him be Australian.
Yeah,
Stop giving him the fake American accent that he can't do that well. Oh, man. That first Avatar is American accent.
Well, it's like there are some films where Liam Neeson is made to do an American accent. I'm just this could work just as well if he had his usual voice.
Yeah, was he American in Taken?
I think so.
I think he was doing American, but for the longest time I thought he was American because he kept doing it. And then when I heard him speak Irish, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
And that was before I watched Michael Collins. Man, that movie. Film studies 101. Did you ever watch Michael Collins?
Michael Collins. No, I've seen Danny Collins and Michael Clayton. So does that work? Those two together? Are they the same thing?
Yeah, why not? Anyway, Sam Worthington.
Sure. Who should be the people he's after?
Oh, because these movies always
be
have
our survivor. Because there's always going to be.
There's always a final girl. They always call them the final girl.
A final girl.
Yeah, I mean the one.
Who's gonna be our final girl?
Is this the troll back?
You gotta have a final girl.
The thing about final girls.
He's got a cigar as well. You know, boys, you gotta have a final girl. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
He's about 4 feet tall and 10 foot wide, and he's got a pinstripe suit.
Yeah. Custom made.
I don't know.
Hey, this is a shark fin suit, okay? Shark skin. No one's making suits out of cereal, okay? You gotta intrigue me, fellas. Where's your final girl?
Sipowitz. What say you?
That's his secretary. Hey, Sipowitz. Hey, Sipowitz, you want to play a final girl? I keep telling you, troll, I'm a guy. Hey, yeah, but you want to play a final girl, right? You want to make it in Hollywood.
How about it's not a final girl, but it's a final mascot. One of the mascots from
so he dresses them up.
The Nesquik rabbit, Captain Crunch.
So is this like animated?
Tony the Tiger? I don't know. It's not animated.
Is this what is it? Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit? Sure, why not? That's what's going to bring it down from a 15 to a 12.
Bring your kids.
Cartoons.
Hey, you heard about these things called cartoons? Yeah, troll. They've been around literally. They've been around for over a century.
Yeah.
First I seen of them. I want to get in on the ground floor.
Oh. The title of the movie is C, spelled S. Oh, no. It could be just a C, yeah? Dash, real, R-E-A-L, killers. Because we're blending...
R-E-E-L.
Yeah.
Real.
Double
real
entendre,
film.
triple entendre.
Triple entendre.
You know, we were talking about serial. You're seeing the real.
Yeah.
The movie.
The animated movie. He's killing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We've done it.
Works. This is our best pitch.
Welcome to Chatting Pitch, guys, where our pitches get greenlit straight away.
Our pitches dig ditches, baby. Whatever that means.
Okay. So he's
going after cereal mascots, right?
Yeah. Nesquik Bunny, Tony the Tiger, Captain Crunch. Who's the one that goes first? Obviously, it's Captain Crunch. It's got to be Captain Crunch.
Yeah, I think he's the elder statesman of the mascot world. So there's worldwide shock. We'll have one of those like news story montages.
Mm-hmm.
Shock around the world as Captain Crunch found decapitated in his home. More at 11.
And you know what I think it should do? The transition of the scene when it gets should
be terrifying.
When Captain Crunch gets moided and it goes to the next scene, the sound design crunch into the next scene.
You could have the sound of each cereal. So when he kills whoever the Shreddy mascot is, it's just a really wet because they get moist really quickly, don't they?
Can we get the Snap, Crackle, and Pop kids to be the Hardy Boys of this? They're the detectives.
They can be the ones solving. Yeah. So you could have them solving it. So you could have the cross-cutting between those three solving it, and then whichever mascot is surviving.
Yeah.
Who is the Shreddy mascot? Is it just? It's just the old ladies, isn't it, from the adverts?
Shreddy. Who knit the Shreddies?
Who knit them?
There used to be one, didn't there? The Frosty, no, the shredded Frosties man. Oh no, that's Tony the Tiger.
Sounds horrific.
I'm getting these all confused. I'm getting my wires crossed. There's who else is there? There's
and then you could have guess why I'm so old, because I'm always the final girl. That's how she survives.
Yeah.
She's got her wits about. You think she's just hello dearie, I'm just knitting some shreddies, but she's switched on. She knows what she's doing, and she can use her knitting needles.
That's right. Final
use
lady.
the knitting needles to unpick the locks. And then stab Sam Worthington in the eye.
I can just imagine, the Shreddy's knitting lady just tied up on a bed, but it's actually she's tied up by her own yarn.
By what she uses to
There's
make
gotta
goodies,
be a way out of this. And then
but she
turns out-
eats her way. Han.
Or she's got the knitting needles in her hair, kind of like that trend of putting chopsticks in your hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like, I forgot I had these.
You just put like pencils or like sticks that you found at the forest, or just like
Something like that.
like fossilized turds, whatever you found on the ground. You just used it to tie your hair up.
Who else? We've got the Count Chocula. He's one of them, isn't he?
Week-old asparagus. Yeah, Count Chocula. That could be a great death sequence. Oh! Like you see the shadow go over him. Oh!
So, what happens to the Nesquik buddy then?
So stupid. Sorry.
I've
got a very vivid image of Count Chocola's death. It's very stupid.
That's good. That's gonna be in the thumbnail, huh?
And by then, as a viewer, you know that the crunch means that they're dead. So we don't show him dying. We just hear like blah, blah, blah.
Crunch. Sam Worthington, ladies and gentlemen, he's the one doing all this. Oh, we've lost Matthew.
So
and it's a funny image.
Stupid.
It's a funny image, Matthew.
To me it is.
How do we kill off the
How does he
Nesquik?
kill off each one then?
Oh, he eats them.
Is there a certain way? Oh, like he just eats the mascot.
Yeah, bites his head off, like how Ozzy Osbourne bit off the bat during one of the shows.
I didn't know if we were going to do like the serial themed death or.
It could be. Well, he has a spoon instead of like a knife, right?
Yeah.
Instead of Halloween's knife or Psycho's knife, he's just gets the spoon.
Yeah.
Spoons his brains out.
Oh, found. Yeah. Found posed. Posed eating.
He turns their heads into a cereal bowl and he eats the brains out because that's the way that he thinks he can consume their powers.
Now I can make Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
And then he leaves the hollowed out head of the mascot on a table made up as if it's breakfast time. And he leaves the cereal of his next prospective victim inside the head as like a message. Like Shreddy's lady, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. And how does she get out of it? She ends up stabbing him in his head with her knitting needles.
So she eats her way through the Shreddy's thing that's holding her hands up, and then she uses the knitting needle to do the lock.
Yeah.
Uses the other needle, stabs Sam Worthington in the eye.
But that doesn't
and that's
quite
when
kill
you
him.
have no, because he's got two eyes, you see.
You know those the classic strangling the person scene where they have to kind of like try and get them until they fall unconscious. Well, she does it with the yarn of the Shreddy's yarn.
She knits like a double strength line, but he fakes it, so you think he's passed out.
But ultimately, he has to have a taste of his own medicine, right? She gets a hold of the spoon.
Eats his brain.
Well, no, she doesn't eat the brain, but she uses his weapon against him. So she gets hold of the spoon,
right?
And she has to have a very witty one-liner about cereals or spoons or something.
Yeah,
or Shreddies.
We'll come up with something.
Shred this.
Yeah.
No, that's terrible.
Shred this.
See these. See this spoon?
Cereal later.
Spoon this. No.
Spoon. You're spooned.
You have just been spooned.
You have just been spooned.
Eat my spoon. And then
any of those will work.
Eat this.
Yeah.
Crunch this.
Crunch this. I don't know.
Snap, crackle, and pop. And then
yeah, because that can be when the two stories converge. So you think she's got the upper hand, and then Sam Worthington gets the upper hand, and then you think, oh my God, he's going to kill her and consume her power. And then Snap, Crackle, and Pop show up.
Yeah.
They jump in through the window. Snap, crackle, pop.
They're also doing karate.
And he's like trying to wave them away because they're tiny, aren't they?
They're tiny, yeah. Oh, gosh. If this doesn't get Sam Worthington an Oscar, I don't know what will.
I've always said he's a great actor.
And that's the end of the movie. See Real Killers. Or See Real Killer.
See Real Killer. Yeah.
Coming to a theatre
So it's
near
a
you.
mixture of animation and murder.
I think we should stop selling this to Don Simpson because he's dead, right?
Okay.
And we start going for the
controversial take, for sure.
Controversial take. It is Don Simpson, right? That was the one that passed away. Jared Bruckheimer, I don't know. He's off doing.
Who's big in animation?
Who's big in anime?
Walt Disney. He hasn't done anything for a while.
Walt Disney, we're coming for you.
Yeah. Forget Don
in
Simpson.
Your cryogenic chamber. He's frozen, right? That's what they say.
Gets unfrozen. Chatting pitch.
Sold.
Must consume chatting pitch.
His actual final words are, chatting bitch, you have sold a brilliant idea to me.
You have the power.
Yeah. Somehow
I suggest another one-liner.
Somehow he's speaking,
this.
even though he hasn't defrosted quite yet. He's just still... He's half thawed.
Yeah, it's like, is he like spending a lot of time thinking? Like, no, he's still frozen.
Yeah. It's like that
but he's
moment...
in a new suit. It's just his body.
It's like when Smithers gets burns out of his cryogenic chamber for Lisa's wedding, and he hasn't quite fully thawed.
He's got like the ice coming up. Yeah.
And then he puts him in a chair and he just breaks in half.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it, isn't it? We did it.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park. What a movie.
What a movie, and what an actual movie. Dangerous Animals. Highly recommend.
Yeah. See you next week for another Tales of the Sea.
Tales of Cereal.
Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.